Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria Acien, your favorite fashion design tutor. So today we will be making a corset top. This is going to be a well detailed tutorial, so sit back and watch to the end, and don't forget to like this video, comment and share. So I'll start by drawing my starting line, which will also serve as my shoulder line, and I'll draw my center front line. So this is my starting line and this is my center front. I hope you can see. I will mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and where my shoulder measurement ends, I will go down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. I'll come to the center front and mark my neck width. I will also mark my neck depth. My neck depth is my bust circumference divided by 12. So I'll use my ruler and connect my shoulder slope to my neck width, and I'll draw my neckline. From my shoulder slope, I'll mark my armhole measurement, which will also serve as my chest line. I'll first of all draw a straight line to connect the shoulder slope to the chest line. Then I'll look for the midpoint of this line, which is 4 inches. At the midpoint, I'll go in by ½ inch. Then I'll come to the chest line and enter my bust circumference measurement divided by 4. Then I'm going to draw my armhole curve. I will enter my bust point measurement, my under bust measurement, my waistline, and my full length. I'm using the full paper as my full length. So I'll name this my bust point, my underbust, my waistline, and my full length. So on the bust point line, I'll mark my bust span measurement divided by 2. My bust span is 8 inches divided by 2 is 4 inches. So I'll mark it on the bust span line and on the waistline, and also at the full length. I'll draw a straight line connecting the 3 markings. At the underbust point, I will go out by 1.25 inch on both sides. There is 2 different ways to do this. You can either mark your waist dart, then after marking your waist dart, then you add 0.75 inch to tighten your underbust. Okay, so let's do it that way. On my waistline, I will mark ½ inch on both sides, of the line, to create a dart. Then on the top length, I will go up by 2 inches. Then on the bust point, I will go down by 1 inch. I'll use my ruler to connect. On my chest line, I'll go ahead and enter my bust circumference measurement divided by 4. I've already done that here, and I have my marking. I'll come to the waistline and enter my waist circumference measurement divided by 4. My waist circumference is 34, which give me 8.5, and then I added 1 inch for the darts I created. And then At the hem line here, I'll mark my hips measurement divided by 4. I'll use a straight ruler to connect a straight line from the chest line to my waistline here. And for the waistline, I'll use my off ruler to connect it. I'll blend this place, the waistline. So now this is what we have. So I'll go ahead and create my second dart to snatch the waist the more. So my actual waist measurement is 34. I want to snatch it by 6 inches. So I have to take out, I want to snatch it by 6 inches. So I'll take out 6 inches and it will remain 28 inches. So I'll be working with 28 inches as a measurement for my round waist measurement. So 28 inches divided by 4 will give me 7 inches. So now I will create another dart here. I'll measure between where the second dart leg ends to my side, and whatever I have, I'll divide it into 2 and marked. What I have here is 5 inches, so I'll mark 2.5. So I'll draw a straight line. So this second dart now ends at the under bust, but the first dart pass the under bust up to the bust point, but the second dart I'm creating now will end right at the under bust. So for this second dart, I'll mark half an inch on both sides of this. At the hem line, I'll mark the same half an inch on both side of the line, I mean. Now this dart is not supposed to get to the hem line of this top, so we are going to replace the darts by the side. So this is 1 inch in total. I mark half an inch on both sides of the line, and that's 1 inch in total. So I'm going to replace it by the side. So I've replaced the 1 inch. I'm going to connect it to meet up to blend with the waistline. So I've replaced the 1 inch here. The 1 inch I took out here, I've replaced it here. And now let me measure my waist measurement and see what I have here, because what I'm looking for is just 7 inches. So I'll measure from here to the first dart leg, and then I'll skip the dart and continue the measurements from the second dart leg, and as well I'll skip the second dart and continue the measurements again. So I still have like 0.5 inch left. This is giving me 7.5 inches, whereas I'm looking for 7 inches. So what I will do is to remove the half an inch from the side. So I just mark the 7 inches there. I hope you understand what I'm doing. That's half an inch that I just mark out from the waistline. I'm going to connect it back again. So this line is no longer working. This first line here is no longer working. So I'm through with the waistline. Now I'll come to the underbust and do my underbust tightening. For the underbust tightening, I'm going to mark 0.75 inch on both sides of this dart. Like from the dart leg, I'll mark 0.5 inch, not from the bust band line, from the dart leg. Take note, if you are bust from bust 44, 46, you can use 1 inch on both sides, but from bust 42 down, you use 0.75 inch. If you are below bust 36, you use 0.5 inches to tighten your under bust. So when I measure, the total tightening I have here is 2 inches. So I'm going to connect the marking, I'm going to connect it to my bust point. So I'm done with my underbust tightening. I'll connect the line to my waist dart, and this is what we have now. So the next thing I will do is to mark my bust dart. Bust dart is the difference between the front length and the back length. So here I'll take 2 inches as my bust dart, and I'll mark it here. Then I'll connect it to the bust point. So I'm going to cut through this dart so that I'll be able to close my bust dart. I'll cut through one of these darts to be able to close my bust darts. I'll use a pin to hold it. So before I close up the side dart, I will go ahead and tighten my overbust. So I'm going to open up the bust darts first of all, so I can tighten my overbust. To tighten the overbust, I'll first of all measure what I have here on my shoulder slope, 5 inches, and I will divide into two. That will be 2.5 inch, and I will connect the 2.5 to my bust span line like so. And I'll also decide where I want my corset to stop. So this corset is going to have a yoke. I will just decide where I want the corset cup to stop. What I want to do here is I'll go up by 3 inches line to mark where I want my corset to stop. I'll just draw a fence line at that 3 inches where I marked, and right on that line I drew, I'm going to mark 0.75 inch on both sides of the line to tighten my overbust. And I'll go ahead and use a slightly curved ruler to connect it to the bust points. So that's for my overbust tightening. Let me just cancel the parts we are going to cut out. So the side bust darts will be closed while cutting on the fabric. I'll come to the center front line, and on the bust point I'll go up by 1.5 inch. So this is my 1.5, and I'll go in by half an inch. This is the line that separates the two busts. Depending on the size of your chest, you you can take 1 inch, but I'm taking half an inch. When I open it up, it will be 1 inch. So I'm just going to draw a line. It's exactly at my chest line, but I'm just going to highlight it more. So I just draw it to my underbust line, though it's not really necessary, but it will serve as a guide when drawing out my cup. So I will draw out my cup using a curve ruler. So when drawing your cup, the space from your chest line, that's the bust divider, should be 1.5 or 1 inch. So like this now, my own is 1.5, and like this you're going to have a very round bust. And once you get this line 1 inch or 1.5, just know that you are on the right track. And I'm drawing this cup to meet the bust divider. This is it. And to your right, you're going to, if you can measure with your bra cup to get your bra cup measurement, but if you can't do that, you just go ahead and place your cup maybe 1.5 inch from the side. 1 inch to 1.5 from the side. You're supposed to close up the side bust that before I draw, so I just remember I have to close this up, and then I'll go ahead and draw it now. So my own is just 1 inch from the side. You must have a rounded cup after drawing. Don't have it flat, it must be rounded. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Seems my cup is kind of somehow flat, so in order to have a rounded cup I have to withdraw. Okay, I think I like the second line. So I have my two cups now. Going to decide how you want your cup to be like, the design you want at the top of this is going to have a yoke, and even if it doesn't have a yoke, you should be able to like come up with the style you want at your chest line that will serve as your necklines. I'll open up the side bust dart first and then try to close the over bust dart so I can draw out what the shape I want for my neckline. So whatever shape I come up with, we should stop where I marked the line I marked earlier, and then it will now blend in with the bust divider. So I don't know, just going to do something maybe like a sweetheart. Okay, I think I will do this. Let me just try it and see. I think this looks good as long as it's covered. I like my bust covered. Yes, I'm just trying out. Just look for the best style that suits you. I'm going to draw it to connect with the cup, with the side cup, something like this. Okay, I think I like the second one, so I'm going to clean up the first line. I hope you are following. If you don't understand, please play back to understand what I'm doing. So basically this is what my cup should look like. Let me close up this that. Okay, so after closing up both the side dart and the upper dart, look at my cup. You can see the upper cup shape, so you can just decide the shape you want for your upper cup, and it's not a must that you follow your chest line you draw earlier. Just check anyone that best suits you, just go for it. So there's no formula to this particular one, just check what best suits you and then you go for it. This is where I wanted my cup to stop earlier, but after using the cuff I now have to pass that line and it's still okay. So just check the one that best suits you and do it. So I'm going to open up the chest line, and then this is the side bust. My this thing has torn, I wasn't careful enough, so this thing cut. So I have to manage it like that until I finish and cut it out. So please bear with me. I'll go ahead and blend this line. You can see that the line need to reblend. Let me blend it up here to meet my cup. Okay, so I just reblend the line. This is something you'll be checking when you are making your own. If your line is not well outlined, you have to blend it as many times as possible. Many times as possible. If you are going to wear your corset as a tube, you can go ahead and cut it out this way. You are okay like this. But if you are if your corset is going to have a yoke like my own, if it's going to have a yoke and a sleeves, then at the side here from the chest line you come down by half an inch. Depending on the body size, you can go as far as 1 inch or 0.75 inch. It depends on the body size, but I'm using 0.5. So I'll come down by 0.5 inch here, and then I'm going to redraw my cup, my upper cup style, because of that this thing I added now. So I'm not going to use it as a tube, so I'm just going to redraw it to match up the cup like this. So this depend on the cup style you choose. It totally depend on your cup style. I'm going to clean up this first line. Okay, so that's the new cup style, and then I'm going to blend the side. After creating my side darts, I didn't blend the line, so I'm just blending the line now. So this is what we have. The side bust dart to be permanently closed that way. Sure. If you have watched up to this point, please don't leave without giving this video a thumbs up. And if this is your first time coming across my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you. So now, to style this cup, maybe you want like a 3-part corset cup, or you can go ahead and sew it this way, or you can style it however you want it. But I want my own to be a 3-part corset, so I'll go ahead. This measurement is not standard. You can decide whatever measurement you want. So mine, I just want to mark 1.5 from the center front bust cup, which is actually the bust point, and then by the side here I'll go down by 2 inches. So you make sure you close up your bust dart, the upper bust and the side bust dart, before you draw this line. So for the yoke, if you want it to have a keyhole, you can just draw anyhow you want to style it. Just style it to your desire. At first I wanted mine to have a keyhole here at the neck, so it will have just been something small like this, just to connect it to my dart leg this way. But I don't think I really want that again, so I'm not going to cut that out. But if you want your own to have a keyhole like the one you are seeing in the picture, you can go ahead and just create your keyhole. You can decide to come up very well, like up to this point. You can decide to just do it, or maybe just use your measurement and measure how much you want it to be from your neckline. You want it to cover from your neckline, and then you go ahead and do it. But I don't want that keyhole, so I'll go ahead and just. So you can see what we have here. This is the yoke, and this is the bra cup. I will name this. I'll just note it so I will know. So make sure you name your bra cup so you know. Even your pattern, make sure you name it. Like I said, if you want to have a keyhole on your yoke, you can go ahead and cut this out here. But because I don't want a keyhole, that's why I didn't cut it out. So this is it. Now let's move to the back pattern. So this is for the back pattern. I've gone ahead to draw the basic bodies. I draw out the neckline, which is 3 inches wide and 1.5 inch deep. You can decide to use 2 inches for the neck deep for the back. And I draw my shoulder slope. I also draw out my armhole. So this line is the chest line, and this is the bust point, and this is the waistline. Remember that the back is shorter than the front, and that's why we hold the side bust dart so that the back and the front can match up. And then so the back waistline is actually not the same measurement with the front waistline. So for the front I have 16.5 as my waist point, but for the back I have 14.5 as my waist point. And then the full length is also shorter. So for the front I had 24 inches as a full length, but for the back is 22 inches. So this is it. So what we're going to do is just to go ahead and impute our body measurements. On the chest line, I already mark my bust measurement divided by 4, which is what I use to draw the armhole. I'll skip the bust point, and on the waistline I'll mark my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for that. On the full length I'll also mark my hips measurement divided by 4. So I'm going to connect the bust measurement to the waistline, from waistline to the hips. I'll enter my bust span measurement, which is 4. And on that bust span line I'll mark ½ inch on both sides. I'll come to the hem line and I'll go up by 2 inches. I'll connect the marking to my chest line here. Now for the back, you connect it to the chest line, not the bust point. I'll connect it to the 2 inches. Remember what we did for the front. I said I want my total waist measurement to be 28 inches, which if you divide by 4 you have 7 inches. So we are going to do the same thing we did for the front for the back here. So I'll measure this thing to get the 7 inches. So I'll measure and skip the dots. Okay, so this is my 7 inches and I still have about 1.5 inches more to go. So now I will divide what I have here from the second dart leg. I'll divide it into 2 and I'll draw a straight line. I'm going to mark ½ inch on both sides as well, and this time around I'll connect it to the underbust, or to the bust point, the line I marked as the bust point. The first one is a normal dart, so this one is the waist cinching. For the down part, I'm going to do exactly the same thing I did for the front. I'll mark ½ inch on both sides and then I'll replace the dart by the side. This is so that I can get the same shape I have for the front and the back, so that when I'm stitching, the front will not be longer than the back or the back longer than the front. So that 1 inch I'm going to replace it by the side, and I'll curve it back to meet up the waistline. So let me measure and see what is left for my dart intake. So I'll measure and skip the dart line and then continue the measurement. I'll skip the dart line again and then continue the measurement. Okay, so this is my 7 inches here. What is remaining is 7.5 inches, and here I have my 7 inches. I will just mark where I have the 7 inches and then I'll connect it to meet the hips and the bust area. I'll use a curve just to curve out the waistline to have that waist cinching effect. After you mark it out, you pick up the front pattern, the side of the front pattern, and place it on the back pattern, matching the waistline and the hip measurement like this. And then you trace it out, and then you take it to the upper side and trace it out as well. So that way both your front and your back will be equal at the side. So when you are stitching it, the front will not be longer than the back, or the back longer than the front. I'm just trying to clean the first line I drew. Where the front pattern ends at the side here, you mark it like below the chest line. You just mark that point and connect it to the dart leg. You have to mark out your corset, how you want it to be. You want to close it or you want it open. Like myself, I would like it to open just a little bit. I don't want it too opened. So I just very small, I'm just going to mark like ½ inch, and it will be close at the bottom. At the hem line it will be close, so I'm just going to connect it straight down. And for the style at the back, I already mark here 1.5, so I'll just connect it this way. Just give it like a curve. You can give it your own style however you want it. And then I'm going to eliminate all this. So this is it. I'm going to cut this out. If you are still watching, please like this video, share it, comment. If you have any question, you can drop it on the comment section. And also, if you are new to this channel, you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. I'm going to upload the sewing video soon. Just keep on checking, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you get notified when I post the sewing video. Let me just cut this out, arrange it so you see what it looks like. So this is both the front and the back. Make sure you name your pattern. You can see the back yoke, the front yoke, the 3 pieces cup, the front pattern in 3 pieces, and the back pattern. So if you face it this other way, it will rhyme it very well. So that will be all. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.